Welcome to the Love Local Chicagoland podcast. Here we invite people and nonprofits from our local communities to share their stories and their voices. Through amplifying their message, we share their genuine human experiences that connect us all. Our goal is to make our communities more than just a place to live, but instead a place to thrive. Tune in to hear what makes our community so special right here on the Love Local Chicagoland podcast. Hey, what's going on, friends? Here on the Love Local Chicagoland podcast, going back to our roots, my friends. We are here today with Mike Reppe of Rep's Place and his partner in crime now, Katie, with Brothers Ribs. And we're going to talk about the collaboration of Rep's Place and Brothers Ribs and how it came to be and how you could go to Rep's Place now and you could get awesome burgers like you always could get, but you now could get some amazing barbecue with this collaboration with Brothers Ribs. But I want you to meet the people first before we dive into about this delicious food and all of that. I've known Mike now. He was one of our first Love Local videos back in the day. He looks like a mean guy, but he's actually just a big teddy bear at heart. And then Katie, just getting to know, but we have a lot of similar acquaintances around the community with people with similar hearts. So excited to put this story together for you. And as we talk about how Reps and Brothers Ribs came together, but enough of me talking. Nobody wants to hear that. Let's introduce Mike and Katie. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you? Just to be clear, I'm Mike, not Katie. I've been with Rep's Place now. We're almost 6 years old, and this is our new partner, Katie.
Awesome. Hi,
Nice to
Katie.
meet you.
How are you?
Good.
So you were with are with Brothers Ribs, and was located in Palatine, shut down here recently. But this collaboration with Reps and Brothers Ribs kind of seems like a dream come true. Like great burgers and great barbecue kind of joining together.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved the idea of a sports bar and a bigger place, more room to grow. We were in such a tiny location. We couldn't really do a whole lot. So when Mike came up with this idea, it was right away, I was intrigued, and we got right to talking.
Yeah, when I saw it on social media first, and I got excited because I obviously know him and then the craftsmanship that he puts into the food, and then hearing that he was collaborating with you guys, which, being where you're at, having to move from there into Rep's Place, I'm sure that was a big transition for you guys. But to have a collaboration of a local business owner and a local restaurant that not only does great food, but like very community oriented, I just thought it was a beautiful collaboration.
Yes, absolutely.
What could be.
That's one of the first things I noticed when we were talking. The things he does for the community to raise money and the charities and all the outreach he does, it's amazing. It's a great place. Lots of amazing things happen there. Yeah,
definitely. So how long has this been since this collaboration started? How long is this?
Well, it's been in my head for 3 or 4 years. We started physically talking about it at the end of last year's Palatine Street Fest, which is the end of August. We met early September and the ball was rolling, and then we physically started right around Thanksgiving. They kind of moved in, I believe, right?
Yep.
Yeah, about Thanksgiving. And then we launched the ribs earlier this year, or the whole barbecue menu that we have now. And the city was great, helpful, and we put all our smokers out back, and it's been great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's right. You see the smokers like overlooking like the park area back there.
Yeah, you can see it and smell it from the back and the big park behind us. A lot of people have mentioned that in passing too. So it's been
teachers from Kimball.
Yeah.
They have
teachers from the school. Yes.
Yeah. The school out and ready to go to Rep's Place for some barbecue.
Absolutely.
So the idea came. Good ideas usually are forward thinking, right? Or many of them. So 3 or 4 years in the making for this to be able to happen. What was the reason you originally thought that this would be a great collaboration?
When we first opened, like I said, almost 6 years ago, a few of the old timers from Rolling Meadows were, you should do some barbecue like Russell's. We used to have one of the original Russell's in Rolling Meadows. And that had closed in the early 2000s or the mid 2000s. And I didn't know anything about how to do real barbecue except eat it. And I was like, okay, we'll do that. And nothing ever came of it. And then when I had met Katie and her husband doing the Brothers concept at the Street Fest, I started thinking maybe somehow I could either bring their food in from their shop and just sell it under their name, or so, that was my initial first thought, actually. And then we just got in the middle of COVID and then inflation. And then when we talked this past year, it turned into, why are we both struggling so much and all this overhead? Why we double? Their strip mall where they were was struggling and there was no traffic.
That is a hard location.
My overhead is enormous with the size of the space. And let's just combine forces and have everything under one roof versus all this spread out. And that's where the conversation started. And then we just kind of worked out all the details from there. But so far, so good. I mean, since we've launched, the barbecue sales are nearly 50% of our total food sales.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah, it's been huge. So
I feel like that's one thing I love about Rep's Place. I have since, we went in there, this is probably 2020 now. Looking back, is it's a bar, but it's also a bar that your family could go to. So you have your bar area, and then you have the tables over there. And during our conversation in that Love Local video, the first one we did, like why you opened up a sports bar in Rolling Meadows. And do you remember why you said it? Or
do I remember?
Do you remember what you
Yes,
said? Yeah. Whatever. Okay, good. So, but it was about your childhood and about not having a sports bar in the area for you and your dad to go to.
We had nowhere to go after our Little League games.
Huge.
Our sponsorship on the back of our jerseys was like the library or something, So it was always the dream. It was to open a place in the town I grew up in, so we're not going anywhere, so we need, everybody needs help right now. Every small business in any industry needs help. And, why have two separate hardworking groups struggle to make ends meet when we can help each other, put it together, and here we are, and it's working so far.
I love it. It's a win-win, right? You're able to not only relieve the stress of like doing a business solo. Now there's partners involved, but it allows you to free up to do other stuff too, which we could talk about, a little bit down the road with Rep's Burgers. So he came up to you. Did he think you and talk to you about like, hey, is there anything here? Like, tell us that story. Did you think he was crazy?
Well, at that point, we were kind of already friends because we had hung out quite a bit at the previous Street Fest, and our tents were very close to each other. And so like on the grills, so him and I would be back and, poking fun at each other, just having fun. And so at that Street Fest, we were talking a lot, and he was asking how we were doing. And I was like, we're hanging in there, the best I can say right now. And it was a very busy Street Fest. We didn't get to talk as much. And so at the end, he's like, I want to talk to you about something. Can we set up a meeting so you and I can talk? Because it was just too busy to talk there. And I was excited right away. When we bought Brothers Ribs, I was hoping eventually I could pay somebody to do what I was doing because I like being with people. I'm a people person, but I had to do all the back of the end owner stuff. I don't like doing that stuff. So when we started talking and that would be taken out of my job right away, I was super excited. I'm like, because I don't like doing that stuff.
Where do I sign?
That's pretty much. I'm like, I just want to hang out with the people and, help what I can, but not be in the office paying bills and doing all of those things. I never enjoyed that. So when we started talking and he's like, oh, you won't have to do that anymore. I literally was like, okay, what's next? What do you want me to do? Because I wasn't good at that. I didn't like doing it. And, my husband had to be up front. He's, not a people person as much as I was, so it would put us where we needed to be. And I love Rep's Place. The staff, great. Like you said, it's a great family place. Sure. And I just saw no downside to it whatsoever. Right away, I was very intrigued. So.
Yeah, I can understand why you think that. And you go back to the staff there. Like I've now been going there for a little over 4 years, and I still see Rebecca every time I go there, and always with a big smile. So it's this local family-owned, restaurant that is serving a need in the community with the sports bar, giving the kids a place to go to. But now, burgers, you have barbecue, and the tandem between you guys, it just sounds. To me, as a business owner, it sounds a little bit like maybe you all could breathe a little bit because it's been hard. It's hard, period, being a small business owner. Let's be real. But then you put on COVID, you put in all those restrictions, then you put in inflation, and you put in, if inflation's still here, whatever you see with trends and all that sort of stuff. As a business, you might see it differently, those bottom lines than what's being fed to us, right? So to see that collaboration come together and to see you guys build a true win-win is pretty darn beautiful, guys.
My husband and I definitely got the easier side of it because we went into his business, he had to do most of the business aspects, the stuff that, I didn't like doing. So
He likes to work. It's fine.
So we're coming, it's starting to, we're getting a system down and it's getting a little easier, but he definitely took the brunt of most of it. So we appreciate that. And that was nice because, less stress on us from the beginning, a little more on him, but
yeah,
it's great. It's working out perfectly.
What are some are the benefits you thought would be at the forefront when you guys were joining together? Are those there? And is there any other benefits that have come into your perspective now that you're in it together?
I think for us as a whole, like I said, the sales are up, which I think we can attribute to their followers. The food's now on the menu, it's running. And I think right off the bat, it's because they can get their food again. And as we were talking earlier, when we announced it, there was nothing negative said, which is rare. So rare that not one
People
person.
like to complain. Yeah.
Don't get me started on that. So it was just so odd to see so many positive comments on their followers. Like, thank God you're not leaving or you're not done. You're just going to start fresh. And then the announcement of the collaboration, then those same people were like, oh my God, we love that place too. And it was like, wait a minute, 2 separate places and nobody had anything negative to say. Something's wrong, and it was too good to be true. But so far, knock on wood, so good. And so far they're 200 loyal people that would like every post and read everything and be there for them. They're now, she's seeing them, she's talking to them, they're ordering the food, they're coming, we now have the retail bottles of sauce to sell. Those
Awesome.
are now they're selling now, like the people that were buying it from them in Palatine, they're now here buying it in Rolling Meadows. So everything's clicking now. So the instant, after 3 weeks, we could see the instant volume of people just following them again.
That's awesome.
So, but our sales were up 25% in the first 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's been great. In the slow season, in theory, in the restaurant business.
Yeah.
So,
My customers come in and I was like, oh, you've tried the barbecue. Now try the burgers. You got to get a Reps burger.
Yeah.
You've had ours. So you're here, maybe get one of our things, but try something off of their menu.
For
great
sure.
Salads, great burgers. And a lot of people complained we didn't have burgers and salads. Like all we did was barbecue. So that was another very amazing aspect is all the things we wanted to add to our menu that we couldn't because little place, not enough room, staff and everything is already on the Reps Place menu. So the 2 menus just work so great together.
Yeah, so to me, it fills out the menu for you. You had burgers, salads before, but now, somebody was like, oh, I want to go there for dinner. Oh, it's just burgers and salads I really want. Now you have a full-fledged barbecue to be able to go visit them as well.
and that was the one thing that that Katie had talked about all the time was that how many of her loyal people like, oh, well, the wife wants a salad tonight, or they want to go out for something lighter. Well, now they can, and now there's not that issue. So, the boss, the dad, whatever you want to call him, he can get his ribs, she can have a salad, and the kids can have something to eat. That we have 8 or 9 kids options instead of, I think you guys had chicken tenders.
Yeah, we had like 3 or 4.
So, but again, they had a much smaller space than we did, and so it's been good for all of us, to my knowledge. And we have a lot of things planned for the future. Food truck, we have that in a month and we'll be doing different menus, barbecue being one of them.
That's huge. So like go to festivals and stuff, or
everywhere. We might just pop up in front of your building here one day. So
let's do this. Yeah,
so,
we like food trucks.
So that's that more stores with smaller menus with maybe just a couple burgers and barbecue. The overhead we have now is too much. So we're going to downsize in the future anyway. So we're working on that, and we're working on being smarter with future locations in terms of size and overhead and things like that. So for one, I think the food truck is smart. I was talking with the ladies that own a taco shop in Palatine. They added a food truck on last May, and I'm like, that's so smart because it's a way to get your food to people in the community that might have not otherwise had it, because you're meeting them where they're at and within the experience that they're doing. And I know it's helped them a lot
gain more awareness around the community and has helped them grow their business. So I know that's going to happen for you guys. But Mike, you're knowing you for over 4 years now. You're a visionary when it comes to food and creating a place where people can come together around food and community. And you see that within Rep's Place. You see that amplified now that you have her with the personality. Ding ding. You like that? I got that with you at Rep's Place. But you're building Rep's Burgers too, and that's a part of your build and your vision. So this collaboration, does it free up more time for you to work on future things and things that you want to be able to build within your crazy mind?
It does. Thank you for acknowledging that. One step at a time. It does. The whole team in Rolling Meadows allows it to. I'm lucky to have a couple guys that I actually went to high school with are now on the team.
Awesome.
A lot of years of experience together. And again, during the construction of Palatine, I wasn't able to be in Rolling Meadows a lot. And it was hindering a lot of things in Rolling Meadows. So now that I've been able to be there a lot more, we're getting everything organized and cleaned up, and we're getting the food truck ready to roll. And, we'll take a few months to get everything dialed in, and then it's time to grow, and putting the right team together, having the right people that care. As long as they care, then we'll be okay. If it's just people that are like, I'm here, what do you want me to do? Those are not the right people right now. Look, it's hard to find enough people, much less the right people, as you know.
That's hard,
But the plan is to grow, but you gotta have everything clicking first before there's no point to grow if everything's mediocre. You got to keep moving.
And if the team's not solidified and tight and you're growing on it, you're growing on like a weaker foundation, which is going to cause you headaches down the road, as business operators. So I respect that. So food trucks coming. Did I hear? You don't have to give all the juicy information, but maybe more Rep's Places coming or more
of a newer,
Brothers
more
Rips?
Modern version with the smaller menus of just like some burgers and barbecue, more, the size of the space we have now it's too much overhead. I don't want to say it's too big because a lot of times we need it, but the overhead with today's costs it's too much.
Taxes too. I mean,
real estate taxes, rent, and the landlords don't care. They want their money. It doesn't matter. So, I tell the story. Part of our conversation when we started.
I'm so glad I'm not saying any of this.
Part of the conversation we had back in September was I would rather have. There's no good easy way to say this. I'd rather have the shutdown back than the inflation. The inflation has hurt us more because we can't. You didn't get a 30% raise.
No.
To offset everything else costs 30% more. We can't charge 30% more, or we'd be charging $30 for burgers and 30. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But during COVID, the inflation hadn't kicked in yet.
No.
The shutdown, we did okay. We survived. We got through it, and it wasn't as stressful on the bottom line as the inflation is. So, without having all the issues that COVID brought, I'm not saying I want COVID back. I'm just saying the shutdown was better for a small business than the inflation is. So if we can figure out to stop the inflation, let's, put a pin in it, let's bring it back down a little bit, and small business might be able to get through this.
Yeah, we did great during COVID, during the shutdown. We were killing it. We were doing great. We actually started diving after it ended.
Yeah.
So same thing with ours. That's when we started struggling.
Sorry, I'm burping from this water here, but
should have stuck with the beer.
Should have Church Street, can't go wrong. But yeah, it's interesting because I remember the beginning of COVID, we did a lot of local videos throughout that time. It was really where my passion for stories and for community really came into play. I had no clue that that's what was going to happen.
That's when I first saw you and first started following you.
Building a media company and bringing people on. No idea that was going to happen, but it happened because of the stories that we met from the people that we met in our community. And we really learned that we're not that different. People from all different walks of life were struggling with similar things. This time, inflation. So I look at as an ex-restaurateur, as an ex person that is run a restaurant and knowing how difficult it is, but dealing with people. They don't always understand like the inflation side. But it's something that I think people need to know and understand. Like I'll see comments of Mike, I want to set you off here, but people that just say stupid things on social media where they don't understand what's truly happening. And, where people will be like, oh, I'll go to this corporate chain or I'll go to this corporate chain. They don't realize when they say stupid stuff like that for one, the small business doesn't want to be here either, that they want to be normal so they don't have to deal with this drama. But that the small businesses are our neighbors, and they're friends in our communities, and you don't get these at this corporate spot. So if your meal goes up 30%, it's because it has to. And maybe you should look at other avenues instead of beating that small business down. You should look at other avenues on why that's happening and offer grace, and then offer maybe like vote different or whatever you got to do. Let's not go there, but to make sure that those things are solved, but to give grace to small businesses. The things I see from people that they'll say, I'm like, they're just not educated. Like they don't get that there's two sides of the tracks here. You don't want to up your prices. That's not what you all want to do, but you also want to eat and you also want to keep the doors open for the community. So in order to do that, it has to roll with you. So I not to go on like a soapbox there, but like let's put it to people straight. If people are complaining about prices during this inflation time, what's your advice to them? And you could say what you want here.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
No.
It's like, nope.
We'll get that on video, but yeah.
They see it themselves at the grocery store.
That's it.
You know, they see it at the gas station. They see it wherever they go. They need to remember that we're seeing it worse. Again, when we opened Rolling Meadows, a pound ground beef was $2.09 a pound. It's now in the mid $4s.
Wow.
So it's more than double in 6 years, but I didn't double the price of my burgers since then.
No.
But in theory, I should, in order to be in the same spot, because everything else is all lettuce, tomato, everything that goes into that burger in Rolling Meadows is double the price. Then the biggest increase during COVID because of lack of labor from the beginning is to-go packaging, cardboard, the styrofoam boxes, the wrappers, all that stuff went up 30 or 40%. So just to box up a medium-sized to-go order costs $4 or $5. So sending it out the door with the price inflation on the food and then the $4 or $5 to package it, we're breaking even if we're lucky.
Yeah.
The labor to cook it. Then everyone during COVID wanted more money. So now, there was no way to make money when the inflation started. And then the rents went up. And then now every year taxes in Cook County keep going up. Mm-hmm. So hey, we're in Cook County. We chose that. I get that. That's on us. But
it's a part of it. And if you live in Cook County, you should expect that from your businesses. Yeah. And it's not anything what people say or what some small smart aleck comment will be. It's understanding the full spectrum.
So you said it yourself. I don't want to keep raising prices, and I've tried not to. We're at that breaking point where we're trying to keep it in the ballpark that we have to. But there's other places that we get criticized for it sometimes, but then there's other places around Woodfield that are $6, $7, $8 more than us for the same items, and 5 stars all the time.
That's where I go to people's perspectives.
Yeah, and I don't get
those aren't small businesses in Woodfield. Most likely, small business are the fact of the neighbors own it, right? It's somebody from outside that has somebody else running it from either a corporation or a franchise standpoint. I was just going to
say, I don't think people fully understand that either. Corporations, they buy such mass quantity of product, they get it at a huge discounted rate that us small businesses can't possibly purchase. Mm-hmm. So their prices are going to be lower because they're getting massive deals on their products. We cannot get those kind of deals.
Yeah, that's interesting because I worked at Cheesecake Factory. That was it because it was a national account.
Right.
You got better deals across anything. I didn't think of that and how that would impact you guys, but totally.
And the volume of what we get is fresh too, which is more expensive, not frozen. And that doesn't help our costs. Mm-hmm. So, but if you want frozen burgers from somewhere, yeah, you can save a couple bucks, sure. But to answer your initial question, what do I say to people? I say what I was taught as a kid, don't say anything. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And the complaint of, if you don't like a place, I don't go on social media and do that. I just don't go back. Like, that's it. I don't try to break somebody's livelihood and tear them down because I had a wilted piece of lettuce on my chicken sandwich. I just don't go back.
Yeah. Those people need healing. The people that bitch about that, like they need healing in other facets, and I look at social media and I think that's great advice is we're all human. So we're not all going to have perfect days and things are going to happen in any business, but don't be an ass on social. Like don't put that out there. We get enough of that in a broader macro perspective, but we should be showing love to our neighbors. And if we're not, to your point, just keep it to yourself. Like, nobody needs that negativity in their life. Like, it's not worth it.
It's your God-given right not to like our food, anybody's food. But do we all need to know about it?
Yeah.
No.
And it's tearing people down at the same time when they do that. It's like there's a tearing thing down and somebody will jump on it. I look at those and I'm like, those people, they need to grow and learn that there's different perspectives, and this isn't the place to put this on here. For the fact of, like, why tear down our small businesses? Why, even if it's one comment, and your comments, I watch your social media, you're harder on yourself than anybody else, but I see the comments I see that are negative, which are very, very small that I've seen. Or just people that aren't educated or that maybe like to start something to start something. But most people in this community, like 90+%, love y'all. So that's a gift in its own right and a beautiful thing.
If they just stop to think about the amount of time that all of us put in that place to do the best we can, to put out the best product we can, maybe they don't say anything. It's not like we all didn't get in this business because it's easy. And we work 12 hours. Right. We work 12 hours a week. Yeah. I mean, it's not like that. So, just give us a break.
So you're on your feet 12 hours a day,
right? Sure. It's just not like that. So, I don't know. It's just but I've just never been that person. Even before, the internet was all about this, reviews and all. It was never a thing. I don't call the place and, I had a bad sandwich. I just don't go back. It's that simple. So I don't know. I'm not, that's never been me. People that I hang out with, that's not us. We'll find another place to try. That's just what we do. But I don't know. I think like you said, there's a lot more that they need to think about before they do that. And I don't think some people just don't do that. So.
No, something they need to work on for sure. I'm excited that you guys have joined together. It's, hearing the first post of Brothers Ribs closing, from doing this Love Local stuff, I saw a handful of businesses close during that time frame. It was heartbreaking. It's hard when that type of things happen because this is your blood, sweat, tears, it all. So to see the collaboration come together with Reps and Brothers Ribs to really, at the end of the day, not only join forces to make sure your lives are in a good spot for you and your families in quality of life, but really for the community. Like, they get to go to a place now, they get to watch a game, they get to have good beer, they could have burgers, they could have salads, and now they can have really good barbecue. So to be able to have that here in our local community right off of 53, I think off of Kirchhoff, I think is pretty awesome. So I'm glad you guys are connected. And if anybody hates on that on social media, just tell them to go screw them.
Send them to you.
Send them to me. I have a really passive aggressive approach with those people. There's a reason why I'm not working in the restaurant industry. I don't have a filter. And so
the thing that I liked the most about approaching Katie and Mike about Brothers was it's classic all-American barbecue, backyard barbecue. It's not fancy stuff you're going to see on TV from New York for $200 a plate. It's nothing like that. It's just, it's the ribs that you want to make at home, but you never do them right. It's things like that. It's just good old-fashioned barbecue, and that's what we do in the restaurant in general with our menu for the most part. So, we didn't want to bring in something that took, 4 days and 3 guys to do, and we didn't want to do anything like that. So I think that's the selling point to our guests that were not their followers in the first place. Was it's just good old fashioned barbecue. There's nothing fancy, no frills, nothing fancy. So that was, I think, the easy selling point for me to approach them with it. I knew that it was the right product. I wasn't like deciding between 4 other places. It was just, that's the product right there, So it was a good fit.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to see you guys come.
Because I put up with him.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm glad to see you guys come together. I'm glad.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm glad she keeps you in line, Mike.
Yeah. See, he's got it.
Yeah. Denise, like, I'm enjoying this Pilsner. But yeah, anything else you guys want people to know?
Just keep an eye out for more things in the future and come try us this Saturday, big St. Patrick's Day party. All day long, bands, bagpipes,
awesome,
green beer. But we'll have the food truck up and running for the season. And then, we got a heater in it, so I don't think we're going to shut it down all year. But
that's how you roll.
Yeah, there'll be more locations, as soon as we can find the right deals and stuff like that. But that was the big picture of the joining forces was to grow, not just sit in one spot either. So
it makes sense when you bring other people along with you on the journey with a similar vision that have this similar work ethic and similar values. You could go a lot further faster. And it sounds like that's what's happened here with this collaboration. If y'all balance each other out, your food together makes one heck of a menu, and you're able to build a win-win so that you could put more delicious food throughout the community and wherever else you're led to. So where can people find you guys? Social media, website? What do you got?
Online at repsplace.com, and then at repsplace for Facebook and Instagram. And I think that's it.
Cool.
Or 3200 Kirchhoff Road in Rolling Meadows.
Yeah, just go straight to the point and get yourself beers and barbecue and
follow the smoke and the smell in the back and find the barbecue.
Well, I'm ready. I'm a big fan of your burgers, so I got to come in and check out the barbecue now. So it's something on my to-do list here in the near future. But
I can tell you now that she doesn't know this yet, but the fall menu, we do a seasonal menu. The fall menu will have a burger with barbecue on it of some kind yet.
That crazy vision head of yours? Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you guys. I appreciate it and look forward to being able to connect and collaborate with you guys more as we continue to evolve. Keep doing good work, putting out good food. It's not easy, but we're stronger together, as you guys know. So, my friends, go check out Reps Place with Brothers Ribs. It's the best of all worlds, and you get good people at the forefront of it. It's not just food. It's not some corporate chain. It's people that truly care about giving you really good food, really good experience, and making sure you enjoy yourself. And great place, as Mike mentioned, to take your kid after a ball game too. It's kind of what life is about, my friends. So anyway, appreciate you all for watching. As always, support local, love local. We're stronger together. Peace.
Cheers.